Let's begin. Today is May 11th, 2024, and we're doing the Daily Turing Machine Puzzle. Today's puzzle uses 6 criteria cards with its 6 verification cards. Let's actually go to turingmachine.info to get more information. So today's puzzle has this unique identifier, which you could always go back and do a lookup. Again, today's puzzle uses 6 criteria cards, and today's puzzle uses the purple verification color scheme. Let's actually go and solve. So in our grid here, we have our criteria cards. The top row has criteria A, followed by criteria B, and then C. And the bottom row has criteria D, criteria E, and F. Let's look what each one will be asking of us. So criteria A is comparing the middle digit, the square digit, with the number 3. Is square less than 3? Is square equal to 3? Or is square greater than 3? Criteria B compares the first and last digit, the triangle and the circle. And it's basically asking whether the triangle is less than circle, is the triangle equal to circle, or is the triangle greater than the circle. Criteria C will let us know about the overall number of even digits versus odd digits. So are there more evens than odds, or are there less even than odds? Criteria D seems to be a brand new one for our daily Turing Machine puzzle solve, and that is that what you do is you add up the 3 digits, the triangle, square, and the circle, and basically the Turing Machine will let us know whether that sum is an even quantity, or is the sum an odd quantity. Criteria E will add the digits, the first and the second digit, the triangle and the square, and compare that sum to 6. Is the sum less than 6? Is it equal to 6? Or is it greater than 6? And this last criteria F, I believe, is also a brand new one to the daily Turing Machine puzzle solve. And basically, it's a way to determine whether the digits in order from triangle, square, and circle are the numbers ascending, meaning are they increasing at every point? Are they descending? Or is there no order? Okay. So again, we've already have our first proposal of 314, and I'd like to figure out whether we have more evens than odds. So I'm going to test criteria C. Okay, so it is incorrect. So if I look at my proposal, I notice that I do have 2 evens and, 2 odds and 1 even, which would mean that there are more odds than evens, but the Turing Machine tells us that is incorrect. So in fact, we have more evens than odds. So in my notes section for C, I'm going to say even is greater than odd. And furthermore, so that means that we have either 2 evens or 3 evens. We just don't know. We just know that since we do have more evens than odds, you have at least 2, but potentially they're all evens. We still don't have enough information about that. Okay, now what I like to do is I like to test this new criteria D, because since I have 2 evens or 3 evens, that will help us distinguish that situation there. So let's actually test D. Okay, so again, if I look at my proposal and I add up the digits, so 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8. That means that my sum, the sum of my proposal, is an even quantity. And the Turing Machine told us that that is incorrect. So the sum should not be even. In fact, the sum should be odd. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to put in my notes that triangle plus square plus circle So again, my proposal is even, so that means the sum should be odd. So is equal to odd, okay? Since the sum is an odd value, that conclusively tells us that we have two evens and one odd. Because when you add two evens, that's an even, and if you add an odd, you get a total sum that is an odd quantity. So that means it cannot be three evens. And furthermore, I'm going to say that two evens and one odd. Okay, so that means that I'm looking for two evens and an odd. Now there isn't anything that says that there's a duplicate, so potentially it's a duplicate, but I would imagine that had we given the criteria that asks about whether we have a pair or not, then we may have a pair. So here I'm thinking that it could be two distinct evens, 2 and 4, but we can't guarantee that. Okay, so we know that we're dealing with two evens and an odd. We do have this square that would, if it were equal to 3, well, we know that would be an odd, the odd. But I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to test criteria E to see if the first two digits, if the sum is less than 4, or sorry, less than 6. So let's try that out. Let's do criteria E. Okay, so that is incorrect. So the sum is not less than 6, so that means that the sum is going to be either equal or greater than 6. So that was criteria E, and so I'm going to say that triangle, actually let's do this. Let's see, can I do two? No, I can't do two at a time. So I'll say triangle plus square is either equal to 6 or greater than 6. Okay, so let's see, if that is the case, can I eliminate any possibilities? Actually, I don't think so, because I still can have 1 and 5. That would equal 6, or similarly 5 and 1. So that doesn't really eliminate any possibilities. So this is amazing. I believe this may be the first puzzle where we technically have not crossed out anything. But again, we do have some advantages. We do know that we do have two evens and an odd, and that the sum is either equal or greater than 6. So we now have to come up with our new proposal, since we already completed our 3 Turing tests. So now we're looking at our new proposal, and so if it were a 6, the only way it could be a 6 is if we had a 2 and a 4, right? Because we do have two evens, and it couldn't be like an even and an odd. That's not possible, because an even plus an odd is an odd, and obviously 6 is even. So we could be dealing with 2 and 4, and that would be, plausible, if we knew that square is, either less than 2 or greater than, less than 3 or greater than 3, then we would always get the opposite digit in for the triangle. And then we could compare triangle with circle. So that would mean if this is 6, if triangle and square equals to 6, then the purple would have to be our odd, And, potentially we could figure that out. And then we also have this other clue that tells us, the order of the digits. So let's see, if I were to propose 4, 2, 2, 4, 2, 4, 5, it could be increasing 4, 2, 5. Anything is possible. So I'm going to try 4, 2, 1. 4, 2, 1. Let's try that out. 4, 2, 1. And okay, let's go with it. All right, so I want to test. Let's test A. I want to see what the square is. So A is correct. So again, if I look at my proposal, I chose 2 to be square. And so since the Turing machine gave me a check, that means it agrees that that digit should be less than 3. So that is criteria A. And so that is stating that square is indeed less than 3. Now, it's not to say that it is exactly 2. It's just saying that it's less than 3. And so potentially it could be the odd 1. We just don't know. But at least now we can eliminate some possibilities. So it can be a 1. 1 is less than 3. 2 is less than 3. So it can't be 3. It can't be 4. And it can't be 5. Okay? And because we know that the sum has to be either equal to 6 or greater than 6, that means I can actually eliminate some possibilities. It can't be 1, and it can't be 2, and it can't be 3. Okay, so we're looking for a minimum of 6. And so since the biggest square it could be is 2, that means the smallest triangle could be is a 4. Okay, so here we have 4, 2 could be 6, 5 and 1 is 6, but then we also have, 5 and 2 to be our, greater than 6. So actually we do have 2 6 combinations. That's interesting. Okay, let us compare B. Let's do B, criteria B. And again, still we don't have anything about purple. I don't think we can say anything about purple just yet. Okay, so B is also correct. So let's take a look at B. So notice that we're comparing triangle and circle. In our case, triangle is greater than circle. 4 is greater than 1. The Turing machine agrees with that and confirms that. So that means that triangle should be greater than circle. So that's criteria B. So triangle is greater than circle. Okay, and again, it doesn't mean that the actual digits in our code are 4 and 1. Obviously, well, not obviously, but yeah. So we just know that triangle's bigger than circle. So what can we say about that? So if triangle's bigger than circle, that means circle cannot be a 5. It's impossible for a triangle to be bigger than 5. So that means that circle cannot be 5. Okay, it could be 4. That would force triangle to be 5. So it could be 5 and then 4. And then of course 5 and 4 are all greater than 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so let's see, what else can we say? Yes, there we go. Okay, So at this point, I do have that my proposal is descending. Do we have a possibility of that? Yeah, we could go from, say, 4 to 1 or 5 to 1. So those would be actually the only possibilities if it were descending. Okay. Let's see. What can we test? So if we were to test criteria E again and to determine whether it's 6 or greater than 6, again, I do have two possibilities, and that's 4, 2 and 5, 1. 5, 4, 2. Oh, actually, it could not be 5, 1 because we remember we have two evens. So it can't be 5, 1. So either, and it can't be 4, 1. So this is interesting. Let's see, do I have space here? Let me go up in part A here, and let me start writing some possibilities. So again, it can't be 4, 1, because that's less than 6, but it could be 4, 2, and then I don't know what the purple is going to be. In fact, it would have to be odd. So it could be, 4, 1, 4, 2. That's the only possibility. It can't be 5, 1, because again, that's two odds. Or it could be 5, 2. Oh, that's interesting. So we know that square is 2. That's very interesting. Okay. And again, this would have to be a 4. It would have to be a 4 because we need the two evens. And wow, that is it, actually. So the only question is, what is circle? So let me actually generate the whole list. So it could be 4, 2, 1, 4, 2, 3, or 4, 2, 5. Okay. So obviously this is a unique one where it's the sum is greater than, and then all these are actually 6. Now, what can we say? So 4, 2, 1 is a bit distinctive in that it is decreasing, which is what I have, right? Actually, I actually have 4, 2, 1 as my proposal. And then 4, 2, 3 and 4, 2, 5. So it goes down from 4 to 2, and then 3, it goes up. And similarly 4, 2, and then it goes up. So I don't see any distinction between 4, 2, 3 and 4, 2, 5. There's nothing. Well, let's see, hold on. Let's take a look at triangle and circle. We did say triangle has to be greater. The first digit has to be greater than circle. So yes, 4 is greater than 1, 4 is greater than 3, but 4 is not greater than 5. So we can eliminate this possibility, and 5 is greater than 4. Okay, so I think all of these do meet all the criteria that we've deduced and that the Turing machine has confirmed. So, okay, we have two evens, yep, and one odd. Okay, so we don't know. So there are a couple of things we don't know. We don't know if it's equal to 6 or greater than 6, and then we don't know, is it descending, ascending, or no order. So this is descending, this is no order, and this is no order, because again, it goes down and then up. This goes down and then up. So these two would have no order, and to distinguish, it would be the sum. Whereas these, the sum is 6, and then obviously has a different ascending categorization. So let's see, if we test one of them, I think we'd still have to test the other, because again, that's 6 different ascension. This is different ascension, but the sum is different. So let me actually test D again. I want to test D. So I don't think I can confirm the ascension part. So let me test, I'm sorry, E, A, B, C, D, E. So what does E say? Okay, the sum is 6. Okay, well, so that just means that it's not 5, 2, 4. And then I would have to test now whether it's descending or no order. So you know what, I'm going to stick with my 4, 2, 1 since that's given me all checks. Maybe I was right to begin with, and I'm going to test criteria F and see if that's correct. Okay, so it's not. Okay, I just got lucky with 3 check marks in that middle proposal. So it's not 4, 2, 1, it's 4, 2, 3. So let's actually type in what we believe to be the answer. And let's go back and confirm that everything is true. So for criteria A, the Turing machine told us that yes, it has to be less, the middle digit is less than 3. It is at the 2. Criteria B, we got correct, and that is that the triangle has to be bigger than the circle. Sure, 4 is greater than 3. Criteria C, even though we got it wrong, right? No more odds than evens, it's the other way around. Do you have more evens than odds? Yeah, we've got our 2 evens versus our 1 odd. And same thing with D. Originally our sum was an even, it should be an odd. And sure, if you add up these 3 digits, you're going to get an odd. And then finally, E, it was confirmed it was a 6, and sure, that sum is 6. And it's not descending, and so out of the 2, it must have been the other one. And so even though we're deducing that it is no order, just because we've eliminated all possibilities. So I think it's okay to make that conclusion. All right, so it looks like 423 is our answer. Let's actually go to turingmachine.info and plug that into our plug in our code into the website and see if we got it correct. So again, I should have memorized it. 423. So we're going to test the code 423 and verify. All right, fantastic. We did get it. Awesome. But let's actually see how we did versus the machine. So C, D, E were all wrong. So let's go here, and C, D, E were all wrong. Okay. Next round, we were all right. We got them all correct. And those were A, B, and E. A, B, and E. And D. And then finally we tested, what was it? F, and it was wrong. But remember, just because it's wrong doesn't mean it's bad. It does help us eliminate a possibility. So let's see, how did we do against the machine? Okay, so we tied it, but by definition, that is a win. So we both solved it in 3 rounds and used only 7 questions. Well, that was a great win. Okay, well that's it for today. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you don't want to miss tomorrow's daily puzzle, please subscribe. Well, have a great one.